What happens in one region of the world can sometimes affect the price of oil, food, and even your daily life, even if you live far away. In this video, we explore how rising tensions or conflict involving Iran may affect the global economy. This is not about politics or taking sides. It is about understanding how energy markets, trade routes, and global supply chains are connected, and why events in one region can impact many countries. Why you should keep watching. If you've noticed fuel prices changing, inflation rising, or markets reacting to world news, this video will help you understand why. By the end, you'll clearly see how global systems are connected and how uncertainty in one region can sometimes influence economies around the world. To understand this topic, we need to think globally. The world economy is like a connected web. Countries trade with each other. Energy moves across oceans. Goods are shipped across borders every day. So when there is instability or conflict in an important region, the effects can sometimes go far beyond that area. Iran is located in a region that plays a key role in global energy and shipping routes, oil prices, and energy markets. Let's start with oil. A large part of the world's oil supply comes from the Middle East region. Even if oil is produced in different countries, it is often shipped through shared sea routes. When there is uncertainty in the region, oil traders may expect possible disruptions. This can sometimes lead to higher oil prices. Even the expectation of risk can affect markets. For example, if traders believe shipping might become slower or more expensive, they may adjust prices in advance. This is why fuel prices in many countries can sometimes rise even without direct changes in local supply. The importance of shipping routes. Now let's talk about shipping. A very important route near Iran is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the busiest energy transport routes in the world. A large percentage of global oil shipments pass through it. If there is any tension or instability in the region, shipping companies and insurance providers may become more cautious. This can sometimes lead to higher shipping costs, slower transport times, increased insurance fees. Even small disruptions or concerns can ripple through global trade systems, inflation, and everyday prices. Now let's connect this to everyday life. When oil prices increase, transportation becomes more expensive, and transportation affects almost everything. Think about it. Food in supermarkets is transported by trucks. Products in stores are shipped globally. Electricity production often depends on energy costs. So when fuel costs rise, many other prices can also increase over time. This is one reason global events in energy-producing regions can sometimes affect inflation in different countries. Have you ever noticed fuel prices going up and wondered why it happens so quickly? Keep that thought in mind as we move forward. Financial markets react quickly. Another important part of the global economy is financial markets. Stock markets, currency markets, and commodity markets often react to news and expectations. When there is uncertainty in a key region, investors may become cautious. This can sometimes lead to stock market fluctuations, changes in oil and gold prices, currency movement in emerging markets. It is important to understand that markets are not always reacting to what is happening right now, but also to what might happen in the future. Global trade and supply chains. Modern trade is highly connected. A single product might involve raw materials from one country, manufacturing in another, assembly in a third, and final sale in a different region. If shipping routes or energy prices are affected, it can influence this entire chain. For example, higher shipping costs may increase the price of imported goods. Companies may also adjust production plans if transportation becomes less predictable. Impact on emerging economies. Some countries are more affected than others. Emerging economies, especially those that import energy, may feel the impact more strongly. If oil prices rise globally, countries that rely heavily on imports may face higher import bills, pressure on local currencies, increased inflation. At the same time, Exporting countries may benefit from higher energy prices. So the impact is not the same everywhere. It depends on how a country is connected to global energy and trade systems. Uncertainty is often the real issue. One important idea in economics is this: markets often react more to uncertainty than to events themselves. When there is unclear or incomplete information about a region, businesses and investors usually become more careful. They may delay decisions, reduce risk, or wait for clearer signals before moving forward. This behavior is not always about what is actually happening, but about what might happen. This caution can sometimes slow down investment decisions, trade agreements, and even expansion plans. Companies prefer stability, so when the future feels uncertain, they often take a wait-and-see approach. Even if no real disruption occurs, the uncertainty alone can still influence behavior across global markets. Prices may shift, and financial planning may become more conservative. Energy dependence in the modern world. Even though many countries are moving toward renewable energy, the world still depends heavily on oil and gas. This means changes in energy supply expectations can still affect transportation costs, manufacturing, agriculture, electricity generation. So when there is tension in a major energy region, global attention increases because of this dependence. How everything connects. Let's put it all together in a simple way. Energy prices affect transportation. Transportation affects goods and food prices. Prices affect inflation. Inflation affects consumer spending. Consumer spending affects economic growth. So even if a conflict is far away, its economic effects can sometimes travel through this chain. That is why global news often feels connected to local prices. A balanced perspective. It is also important to stay balanced here. Not every political tension or conflict automatically leads to long-term damage in the global economy. In many cases, the initial reaction in markets is driven more by fear and uncertainty rather than actual disruption. Prices may move quickly at first, but they often stabilize once more information becomes available. Sometimes diplomatic efforts between countries can reduce risks before they turn into larger economic problems. In other situations, businesses and governments adapt by finding alternative trade routes, new suppliers, or backup energy sources. Global supply chains today are designed with some level of flexibility because unexpected events can happen. That is why the impact of any geopolitical situation depends on several key factors, including how long it lasts, how large the disruption is, and how the global community responds. A short-term issue may have limited effects, while a prolonged or wide-reaching conflict can create deeper economic pressure across multiple regions. Why this matters to you. You might wonder why this topic is important for everyday life. The reason is simple. Global events can influence local prices, jobs, and financial conditions. Understanding this connection helps you make sense of news headlines instead of just seeing them as distant events. It also helps you understand why economists and governments pay attention to global stability. Final thoughts. To summarize, potential conflict or tension involving Iran is often seen as important for the global economy because of energy routes, oil markets, and global trade connections. The key idea is not panic or prediction. It is understanding connection. In today's world, economies are deeply linked. That means events in one region can sometimes influence many others in indirect but meaningful ways. If you found this explanation helpful, you might also enjoy our next video where we break down how oil prices are actually decided in global markets. And if you want more simple explanations like this, consider liking the video and subscribing. See you in the next one.